Springfield Township Board of Trustees regular meeting. It is Tuesday, August 9th, 2022, at approximately 5:30 p.m. Mr. Burning, can we please have a roll call?
Yes, Mr. Burning.
Present.
Mr. Honolaw.
Present.
Ms. Davis.
Present.
All the trustees are present.
Thank you, Mr. Burning. And I'd like to ask everyone to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Okay, next, this is the best part of my day right here. We would like to recognize a very special township resident, Connor Sherman, Junior Olympian. Connor, would you please come up front? Connor, you're such an amazing today. So we would like, the Board of Trustees, Springfield Township, would like to present you with this proclamation, and I'll go ahead and read it. Whereas Connor Sherman and his parents, Carlos and Kristen, are residents of Springfield Township, and Connor is a student at John Paul II, located within Springfield Township. And whereas Connor won the District Double June 4th, 2022, then the Regionals June 18th and June 19th, 2022, making him the fastest 12-year-old in the 100-meter and 200-meter dash. And whereas Connor Sherman qualified to participate in the Amateur Athletic Union, AAU, Junior Olympics in Greensboro, North Carolina, as a member of the 513 Elite Track and Field Club. And whereas Connor Sherman placed second in the 200-meter dash, winning a silver medal. And whereas Connor Sherman placed third in the 100-meter dash, winning a bronze medal. And now, therefore, the Springfield Township Board of Trustees would like to express their sincere congratulations on Connor's awards and recognizes the hard work and dedication that such a national level of competition warrants, and are proud that Connor and his family are members of the Springfield Township community by proclaiming Tuesday, August 9th, 2022 as Connor Sherman Day in all of Springfield Township, and urging all citizens and employees to join us in congratulating Connor on his outstanding athletic achievements. Springfield Township Board of Trustees, Mark Burning, myself, and Joe Honolaw. Congratulations, Connor.
Thank you for, showing up to my house and.
Come on, I knew you were talking like. Let's go.
Thank you all for donating and all the support you guys have given me. I really couldn't have come this far without you guys. I love you all that came and supported me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Say, is this working? That in one of your interviews, you said that the interviewer asked you, what do you want to do? Where do you want to be in 10 years? And your answer was a champion. You're already a champion. You'll be a champion in athletics, and you'll be a champion in whatever it is that you choose to do in your life, because you are a phenomenal child. Phenomenal. And Mom and Dad, where are you? You guys rock. You have raised an awesome child. In my day job, I work for juvenile court, and so many times we see kids who are not on the right path, who are struggling, but this child right here is a gem, and you all have done a fantastic job. So thank you so much.
We saw the video, and he is fast.
Congratulations, proud of you. Congratulations.
You just want to see him in an elder uniform.
Looks good in person.
Hey, Dad, our police chief said because you're all in purple, and he's an elder grad, he's like, he's looking forward to seeing a Panther uniform on him.
We could just end the meeting now.
I say the rest of the meeting will
Yeah.
not be as fun.
No, not at all. All right. Okay, thank you all for that. We have minutes for approval from the regular session on July 12th, 2022, a regular work session on July 26th, and a special meeting bid opening on July 29th, 2022. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mr. Burning, may we please have your financial report?
Yes, Ms. Davis. For the month ending July 31st, 2022, the township expenditures were $2,224,795.76, and the receipts were $2,515,261.76. The ending cash balance of $26,867,074.47 includes obligations for expenditures, payroll, regular operating costs, ongoing capital improvements, projects, and investments. What I request from the board is a motion to approve the receipts, warrants, payroll expenditures, update and current revenue reports for the period ending July 31st, 2020. Do I have a motion? 2022, thank you.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, and I want everyone to know that the financial reports are available at the township during regular business hours, the administration office, or on our website 24/7. Thank you, Christie.
Thank you, Mr. Burning. Mr. Gilbert, would you please give us a report on departmental action and discussion items, please?
I will, thank you, Ms. Davis. The first item I have is, as the board is aware, we were scheduled back in June to renew our gas aggregation rate for residents, and because of the market and the volatility in the market, and in conversation with our consultant, Energy Alliances, we withheld or postponed locking in a price. But at the same time, our goal was to find a favorable price to lock in for the winter months to give our residents a little more stability than, being with the public utility and the volatility associated with their rates. So what I can say is that good news and bad news. Good news is I was able to, with our consultant, lock in a rate yesterday. And that rate is with AEP Energy, and it's 0.839 cents per CCF. The bad news is, or the good news is, that's lower than Duke's current rate, which is a little over 9 cents per CCF. The bad news is that rate is also double what our rate was in our previous contract. I mean, you don't have to look any further than, the gas station across the street and know that gas prices have more than doubled in the last year and a half. Natural gas prices have followed that trend. Typically, natural gas prices are cheaper when there's a lot of gas in storage. Right now, there's virtually no natural gas in storage, therefore, the price is pretty high. This is a 24-month term, and when we look at the futures, it looks like those prices are going to stay high for a while. Make no mistake, this was not an effort to, well, take that back. It was really a two-pronged effort to get the lowest price for residents. But in this kind of market, really the goal was to provide price stability. We fully understand that there may be lower prices out there, whether Duke charges less in the spring and in the summer when you're not using it, which typically happens, and they charge more in the winter. But the beautiful part about this is residents can opt out at no cost. You can get out of the program if you want. Our goal, really, in this very strange and unique situation we're in now, where the prices are really high and we're not really sure what's going to happen in the short term, was to provide a fixed price and give residents the ability to have stability, with the understanding that it is way higher than what we wanted or expected. But at the end of the day, I think if a year ago, if you would have went around and told people that we'll give you a gas card and gas is locked in at $3 a gallon for the next 2 years, would you take that deal? 2 years ago, maybe no. Now, hindsight being 2020, you would have. But that's what this does. It essentially says, we're giving you price stability. Prices could go down or they could go up. You can go get out of the program whenever you want, but just know that, unfortunately, this is where we're at in the market. So we locked in when we felt like it was the best opportunity to do so, even though it's higher than what we were hoping for.
We're locked in for 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Just to be clear, so everybody understands, it doesn't mean your bill's gonna double. It's just for gas. There's all kinds of fixed charges in there and whatnot that constitute your Duke bill.
Well, the bill won't double. but
Right, the gas will double, but I'm just saying, I don't want people to think their Duke bills are
Oh,
gonna
the
double.
entire Duke bill, no.
Right,
No.
so there's a lot of charges in
There's a lot
there
of
for
fixed
their
costs.
lines and everything, and their billing and everything else that's in there.
But assuming you use the same amount of gas that you did in November of last year, yeah, your price for the gas will in essence double. So that's where we're at. So I guess what I'm asking for is the board to pass a motion ratifying the township administrator signing a 24-month term agreement with AEP Energy for the gas aggregation program at a rate of 0.839 cents per CCF.
And I would like to say, historically, our gas aggregation program has beat Duke's prices. Not always, but the vast majority of the time, we have saved money for the residents. And this actually was, compared to their current price, it's below it. But as you say, this could be a great deal if it goes even higher, or if not, then people have the right to opt out if they want.
They do, and I will, I failed to mention that we use the same consultant that a lot of other communities do in the region. So this price is the same price that hundreds of thousands of residents in Hamilton County are getting through AEP Energy. It wasn't just for Springfield Township. So we went out with a large buying power too, with many, many households, hundreds of thousands, and this is the best rate we could get. So I know that Green Township, Colerain Township, Delhi, I believe, all of those same entities use the same consultant, and they're getting the same deal through AEP Energy. So we're all in the same boat.
With that, I'll make a motion to authorize the
Just
signing
ratify
of the
the signature,
contract. Yes.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item I have is a bit of good news. As the board obviously is aware, we've been working for some time to revitalize the Brentwood Bowl property. We are in the process of conveying that property to a particular business that will open a brewery and restaurant in that location. And in order to make that deal happen, it was imperative in order to obtain outside funding sources and grants in order to do the revitalization, the acquisition of the property, and all those things. To date, through Kathleen Kennedy's hard work, we've received $874,000 in outside grants to help facilitate that project through the county. And just recently, as of today, we were notified, or Kathleen was notified, and I'll let her share the good news through the Ohio Department of Development.
Yep, so we requested funding through the Ohio Department of Development in their building demolition and site revitalization program. And that program is going to be administered by the Hamilton County Land Reutilization Corporation. But we are going to be receiving $300,000 in addition for internal demolition and asbestos abatement, which brings the total amount of outside funding to $1.17 million.
Of outside funding to make that project happen that didn't come out of township coffers. So hopefully, by this time next year, after the meeting, we can go over next door to the brewery and restaurant, have dinner and a beer, and think about the hard work and all of the brain damage it took to get that property back to a productive use, because it's been vacant, generating no revenue for almost 2 years now. So hopefully soon, we'll create a new gathering spot for residents and another place to eat and enjoy being a community together. So.
And quite frankly, without your efforts, Kathleen and Chris and really everybody on staff, and without your efforts and the township's sort of leadership in acquiring the property, it would be sitting there right now. You know, it was not, very clear the place wasn't going anywhere on its own, so.
No, the highest and productive use that we had before we stepped in and intervened and gained control of the property was somebody wanted to put in self-storage in the building. So without our intervention, that's probably what would have happened. So kudos to the board for stepping forward and being progressive and taking that action. So with that being said, I'm asking for a motion authorizing the township administrator to execute an agreement with the Ohio Department of Development to accept those grant funds.
So move.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under discussion items, the first item I have is surplus property. As the board knows, once or twice a year, we notify the board of property we're going to dispose of that have no value. This comes from the fire department. It looks like it's a fire hose reel or washer. We wash fire hoses?
We do.
So we will be disposing of that, which I believe is beyond its useful life.
That is
So,
correct. It's about 25 years old.
Gotcha. So just FYI to the board, we will just be disposing of that for the record. Additionally, I think it's important to inform the public of a resolution that the board will be taking action on later in the meeting, which is to renew the 1 mil fire levy that was passed back in 2011. As the board knows, and the public obviously, we just passed 2.5 mils for police and 2.5 mils for fire back in November of 2020. However, there was a 1 mil levy for fire that was passed back in 2011 that expires every 5 years and is required to be renewed. For the first time in my career, I can honestly say this, is that by renewing the levy, it not only doesn't increase your taxes, it actually will reduce them. Because because commercial valuation went up in the community over the last 5 years, so that now it will cost residents, instead of the $29.50 43 cents per 100,000 it did back in 2011, 2017 when it was renewed. It will now cost residents $23.81. It's almost $6 less per 100,000 by renewing the levy. Doesn't happen very often. So generally, when you renew a levy, it keeps it the same. Rarely does it go down. And it's going down because of the increased property valuation in the township from a commercial standpoint. A lot of the new development that you're seeing has caused that to happen. So, good news. It will also bring in a little bit more for the fire department, about $20,000 a year. But at the same time, it will cost residents less per 100,000, which is a good thing. So, it will be on the ballot in November. So, look for that, and that's November 8th, I believe, is the date. So it will be on there to renew the one-mill levy. Again, I think we can say not only will it not raise your taxes, but it will actually lower them by renewing the levy. So the board will take action on that resolution at the end of the meeting to place it on the November 8th ballot. Looking at the personnel update, we had the hiring of Aaron Barnett as a full-time medic firefighter, promoting him from part-time to fill a vacant full-time position. And the same goes for Hunter Perrin, who will fill a full-time paramedic firefighter position, being promoted from part-time as well. In the police department, we had the hiring of David Reddington, filling the position of full-time police officer, again, filling that position through attrition. In the Public Works Department, we have the seasonal end of Ben Peterson. His last day will be August 2nd, going back to school, apparently. And then that concludes the activity in Personnel Department. And then looking at Community Invention Programs, turn it over to Kim.
Thank you. We have our movie night series that is getting ready to start up. August the 26th will be our first one. And that is going to be Spider-Man on September the 9th. We're going to go to Clifford George Park and show Encanto. And on September the 23rd, we'll be back here behind the field, and that's going to show Space Jam. All of the activities will start at 6:30, and the movies will start at dark.
Thank you.
Just a quick question, so everyone knows, where exactly is Clifford George Park? So
It
Pleasant
is
Run
in
Farm.
Pleasant Run Farms.
I know where it is, but
Yes.
Pleasant Run Farms, okay. So if people want to go from around here, they might not know where it is.
On Mill Road.
On Mill Road. Mill and it Forrester or something, a corner?
Forster.
Yes.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you so everyone knew where it was.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. The board has copies of the departmental activity reports, and unless there are any questions of those, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Any questions?
No questions.
There are 7 resolutions before the board tonight for consideration. The first resolution for consideration is Resolution Number 67-2022, a resolution to submit the question of a renewal of the 1.0 mil tax levy to provide funds for fire equipment and salaries for the Springfield Township Fire District pursuant to Section 5705.19I of the Ohio Revised Code. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Mr. Burning.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is Resolution Number 68-2022, authorizing sale by internet auction of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit for use property in the police department. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Mr. Burning.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is Resolution Number 69-2022, authorizing private sale of unneeded and unfit for use property in the police department. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Mr. Burning.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Ms. Davis?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is Resolution Number 70-2022, declaring nuisances pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 505.87 at various listed properties within Springfield Township and authorizing statutory actions necessary to abate the nuisances. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Mr. Burning.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo.
Aye.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
The resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 71-2022, establishing assessment for abatement of nuisance and certifying same to the Hamilton County Auditor. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Mr. Burning.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo.
Aye.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 72-2022, resolution confirming the previously declared dangerous property condition located at 2046 Second Avenue and directing the removal of buildings or other structures located on that property. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Mr. Burning.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo.
Aye.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Next is resolution number 73-2022, resolution confirming the previously declared dangerous property condition located at 1402 Amesbury Drive and directing the removal, repair, and securance of buildings or other structures located on that property. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Mr. Burning.
Aye.
Mr. Honolo.
Aye.
Ms. Davis.
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Concludes our resolutions. Is there any old business before the board this evening?
I do
Mr.
not
Burning,
have any,
Mr.
Ms.
Honolo?
I have no old business, no.
Is there any new business before the board?
Not tonight.
Not tonight. No.
So now we reached a portion of our agenda, citizen participation. So if there's anyone here tonight that would like to address the board, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Michael McCoy, 8950 Fountain Terrace, 45231. First, before I start with my complaint is, I want to thank the trustees for the work that's being done on Fountain Blue as far as the construction work. Those guys are doing an excellent job, and I tell them so, and it really looks good, and thanks for you guys moving speedily on this. So, you know, Fountain Blue was a wreck for a long time, so you guys need to hear something good when something good is happening. So I don't always like to bring bad news, I like to bring good news as well. The reason that I'm here tonight is that I was going through some of the resolutions, and I found a couple, like I have a complaint, an animal complaint, Resolution 46-1990, harboring a frequent and habitual barking dog -A, falls under the revised code section 955.99. Now, whoever violates this resolution is guilty of a minor misdemeanor subject to a penalty. So do I have to fill out a form, or is it that I'm letting the trustees know what's going on at 8924 Fountain Blue? Because the people that live in there are tenants. They don't own the home. They got 2 pit bulls in there, and they are barking constantly, and I don't want to go and knock on the gentleman's door, and it's going to be some kind of confrontation. So I'm bringing it to the board's attention of what's going on at 8924. And I know at times you need to call the police, but when you call them, it seems like the dogs stop barking, or either they bring them into the house. But during the daytime, it's a constant barking. And so according to the resolution, they should be fined for that, or either someone can check it out, slide past one day and see for themselves what's going on there. And one other thing that I have is that I'm not sure where these noise nuisance signs are located in Springfield Township. But there's also a noise resolution. It's 78-1999. It came about in October 1999 in accordance with Section 505.172 of the Ohio Code as amended on October the 20th. We have a gentleman that lives at 8960 Fountain Blue that has a Jeep, and he goes up and down the street. The decibels are so loud on the Jeep that it shakes the housing. And I'm not exaggerating. I called Chief on this, and I made mention to him that I don't want to be the only one complaining about this. I went to several of my neighbors across the street and up the street. I told them I can't fight this battle myself. I understand there's a community police meeting tonight. I asked those people to come to the meeting tonight and voice their concerns about this gentleman, because one day he sat on the curb for about 40 minutes. I was on Bible study online, and he was banging it and just sitting in the Jeep, just banging the music right on the street. And about 35 minutes later, I'm done with Bible study. The music is still going on. So finally, I called the police, which you get a answering service after a certain time. But I did leave a message. Someone did call me back. I explained the situation. I called my neighbors and told them, hey, look, I can't do this by myself. Make sure you guys call so you can be on record also. So I'm just putting it out there that, you know, this gentleman doesn't care. At 4:25 a.m., one neighbor told me that morning that my house was shaking after work in the morning, but that's hearsay. You will probably hear from her this evening when she shows up to the meeting, if she does.
I spoke to her on the phone.
Oh, you get her number? Did she call you?
Yes, she called.
Okay, so I'm just bringing it to the trustees' attention to this. Believe it or not, I'm your eyes and ears of the community. I'm always in the community. I know people. That's just me. I'm not nosy. I'm just concerned. I don't want our neighborhood to turn out like other neighborhoods. As you well know, our taxes are very, very high, and I want to get what I pay for on my taxes. So my thing is, I don't want the police coming on a false run, the music goes down, they say, well, we don't hear anything, because they actually have to hear it. Like I told the dispatch person, well, can't you hear this? The officer actually has to hear that music like that. So I'm just bringing those two complaints to the trustees to let them know what's going on. And like I told the chief, I'm going to definitely be calling the police. He's probably going to get tired of me calling, which I doubt it, but I'm just informing you of what's going on 8950 Fountain Blue in that section of our street. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you.
I don't know if you want to address any.
Yeah, I think, Mr. McCoy, I know we've talked on the phone, and just on those two incidents, I know we didn't really talk about the barking dog one, but yes, do call us on that so we can document that. That's something that we can resolve with. If it's going on and we don't hear it, we can utilize the use of an affidavit from the complainant, so we can at least go back and enforce that citation with those residents. And we can do the same, I think, even with the noise resolution, even though it's coming from a vehicle most of the time. We can address it, I think, the same way, too. So I think we address that, and I'm speaking with your neighbors, tell them the same way. Now, that does take somebody that has to do an affidavit that potentially could go to court. Usually those enforcements are ended up with a payout fine, and they pay that out, but at least we can go there. And then, like I talked to you before, I thought we talked about, proactively going up there and talking to them before you had to call. So I know we've had a couple marked cruisers, and I think we were kind of trying to find his pattern of work to see when he would be traveling in and out of the residence, see if we can find him at night. So we'll continue to work hard on that for you.
Okay, I appreciate it. I'm just trying to leave a paper trail.
Yes, absolutely.
Sort of kind of, so when it goes back in the past, say, okay, we have a paper trail on what's going on. I'm just being more, instead of reacting, I'm being proactive about the situation. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else present who would like to address the board? Okay, all right. Seeing that there are none, is there any other business before the board?
I do not have
I
any.
do not have any, Chris.
Do we have a motion to adjourn the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all so much.